Chelsea's performances on the pitch this season have been a personification of the volatility surrounding the club off the pitch. Masterclasses against the likes of Barcelona, Arsenal, and PSG in the Club World Cup final demonstrated that they can compete with the world's best. Sign up for the Chelsea newsletter. Thank you. Enzo Maresca was sacked just 6 months winning the Club World Cup in JulyCredit, AP. Chelsea's entire squad has been rated by SunSport at the halfway point in the seasonCredit, Getty. However, a mortifying disciplinary record, injuries, and defeats to the likes of Leeds United, Atalanta, and Aston Villa have laid some of Chelsea's vulnerabilities bare for all to see. And right now, after sacking Enzo Maresca, they have no manager to try to predict how the future may go. With that said, the Blues are sitting 5th in the Premier League, still in the running for a Champions League place next season, and are still in every competition. This is how SunSport Chelsea reporter Lloyd Canfield has rated each of the players so far this campaign. Read more on football. Robert Sanchez 8/10. Fans were desperate for Robert Sanchez to be replaced last summer, but most are now glad he wasn't, which is a testament to his turnaround. Apart from his red card against Manchester United, he has become a dependable goalkeeper who turns up when needed and has saved his side on multiple occasions this season. His distribution is improving and the number of errors is dropping dramatically. Philip Jorgensen 4. The good form of Robert Sanchez has limited his opportunities, and it wouldn't be a shock to see him leave the club soon. He has made 5 appearances in all competitions and is yet to keep a clean sheet. Most read in football. Best free bets and betting sign-up offers. Malo Gusto 7. Has often stepped up for Chelsea in big games and was a crucial part of when things went well for Enzo Maresca, who would deploy him in a range of tactical setups. Has become more than just a backup to Reece James, and despite a few frustrating moments, has actually been one of the Blues' more consistent performers this season, with 2 goals to boot already too. Reece James 8. A contender for Chelsea's Player of the Season, James has been very nearly back to his best and has put himself back in the conversation around who is the best in the world in his position. Only under Enzo Maresca, his position changed. He has at times looked like the best right back and one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, with heroic performances against Arsenal, Barcelona, and Newcastle standing out. He has also become more of a leader this season, and overcoming his injury setbacks should not be overlooked. Reece James has arguably been Chelsea's Player of the Season this campaign. Credit, Getty. Josh Ikeampong 5. Despite looking like one of the club's better defenders when he has played, he was sparsely used under Maresca. Put in a man-of-the-match display against Nottingham Forest away from home, and has shown himself to be a young defender with a lot of potential who perhaps just needs more of a chance, or some experienced heads around him. Wesley Fofana 6. Initially looked rusty when he was coming back from spending a long time in the Stamford Bridge treatment room since he signed from Leicester, but has improved steadily while having his minutes managed, and seems to have formed a strong partnership with Trevor Chalobah when the pair of them play together. TREVOHCHALOBAH 6. It has been a really mixed campaign for Kabomboy Chalobah. He has played more minutes than any other Chelsea centre-half and has had some really bright moments with 3 goals in 24 games, including a big one in the draw against Arsenal. Unfortunately, he has had some poor moments too, more often than not when Fofana was not alongside him. Overall, though, the good has outweighed the bad. Chalobah and Fofana have formed a good partnership for Chelsea this season. Credit. Getty. Tosin Adarabioyo too. The bad has outweighed the little good. Looked like a solid, experienced head last season who seemed a very smart signing, but has had several disappointing moments this campaign, which led to his eventual complete lack of use by Maresca after defeat to Leeds. Benoit Badiashile 3 has been limited in terms of minutes, but also been less than inspiring when he has played. Looks good on the ball, but makes too many mistakes at the back, and can't be relied upon this season. Levi Colwill, N.A. yet to play a match for Chelsea this season after suffering an ACL injury. Mark Cucurella 8, similarly to Reece James, has this season cemented his spot as one of the best in the world in his position. Excellent defensively, good going forwards, and has become a leader on the pitch who sets the standard for the rest of the team, is always consistent and very rarely drops a poor performance. It has been evident in his absence how important he is to the team. Cucurella has been enjoying a good season. Credit. Getty. Jorrel Hato 3 was given a few chances under Maresca, but failed to really impose himself on games in a positive way. A very young, talented, multifaceted defender who needs time and opportunities to prove the quality he clearly has. Dario Essugo, N.A. bought in as a backup for Moises Caicedo and is yet to play for Chelsea this season. Moises Caicedo 8. Come the end of the season, it will likely be Caicedo and Reece James fighting for the Chelsea Player of the Season award. The Ecuadorian midfielder has proven his worth as a £100 million plus signing, as one of the best in the world in his role, and even shown up in terms of goal scoring with several showstoppers this season. He's a consistent performer for the Blues with his relentless running, tackling and on-the-ball ability to play incredible passes. Only marked down for missing huge games against Arsenal and Manchester City through suspension, something he needs to control a little more. Moises Caicedo has developed a habit of scoring screamers and missing important games through suspension. Credit. Getty. Romeo Lavia 5. Always looked like a top talent and a key part of Maresca's plan when he played, but his consistent injury issues have plagued him more this season and his time at Chelsea seems to already be coming to an end. Andre Santos 5. Has had some shaky moments, mixed with a top performance against Burnley. But has overall probably been a downgrade on Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall last season. The potential arrival of Liam Rosenior could give him a massive boost though, as he managed him at Strasbourg last season and was able to get the best from the Brazilian. Some of Chelsea's statistical leaders this season. Enzo Fernandez 7. Has been a fairly consistent route to Chelsea goals this season, with 4 in the Premier League and 1 in the Champions League. He showcases bags of passion and ability when he plays, but has perhaps not had the level of consistency of the likes of Moises Caicedo and Reece James, with a few performances where he seems to disappear in midfield. Pedro Neto 6. The most productive of Chelsea's wingers, Neto has combined bright moments in blue with some frustrating ones. He works impossibly hard on the right wing, or the left at times, but his end product has still been left wanting. It's just a bit better than the Blues' other options. ESTEVAO Willian 7. Always gets the Stamford Bridge crowd on their feet when he plays, and his performance against Barcelona will not be forgotten by anyone who watched it. Looks like a really promising winger, who has expectedly shown signs of being raw and unpolished. Will have a big future at Chelsea and looks like a threat whenever he has been given somewhat limited opportunities so far, with his ability to decide a game and superb dribbling. Estevao has filled the magic boots of Cole Palmer this season at times. Credit, Getty. Cole Palmer 5. Everyone knows the quality of Cole Palmer, but injury issues have hampered him this season, missing 11 weeks already, and when he has played, he hasn't necessarily looked like the same ice-cold Palmer of seasons gone by. It's likely just a little bit of rust as he settles back into things after a long time out, and the second half of the season could present a real opportunity for him to prove his worth before the World Cup. Facundo Buonanotte 5. Was hardly used by Enzo Maresca, but has looked okay when given a chance, with 1 goal and 1 assist in Chelsea's Carabao Cup run to the semi-finals. Alejandro Garnacho 5. Chelsea's best option on the left wing this season, Garnacho has created bags of opportunities for himself and others, but too often those chances are missed. He has had a few standout performances, but they have been equally met with frustrations over his end product and defensive work rate at times, with 4 goals and 2 assists in 18 games. Alejandro Garnacho and Enzo Fernandez have been good in spells, but somewhat inconsistent. Credit, Getty. Jamie Gittins 4. Very similar in terms of impact to Garnacho, but in fewer minutes, with 1 goal and 5 assists in 20 games. Clearly an immensely talented young player, who needs time to work on his end product and final ball. TYRIQUE George 5. 3 goals and 1 assist in 11 games this season for the Blues is not a bad return for a young player who has been rarely used and at times used out of his favored position. Deserves more opportunities, but instead looks likely to be sold in January as pure profit. João Pedro 7. One of the few signings that was an upgrade on his predecessors in João Felix and Christopher Nkunku. Pedro is the Blues' top scorer this season, albeit with only 6 goals, but also shone brightly in the Club World Cup, which essentially paid off his transfer fee. Needs to improve in terms of consistency with his finishing, but has had some really bright moments this season, such as his goal against Newcastle. Cole Palmer's return to his best will be very good news for the Brazilian when it comes around. Liam Delap 2. Perhaps the biggest disappointment of Chelsea's season so far, as a forward with so much potential who can't seem to get going. Still waiting for a Premier League goal this campaign. A striker who looked set to end the Blues' number 9 curse has hardly played due to a mix of injuries and suspension. He looks more concerned with fighting opposition defenders than he does with scoring goals, and needs to settle on the ball to find his feet at Stamford Bridge. Mark Guiu 5. You have to feel somewhat for Mark Guiu. With limited opportunities, he has looked promising at times, not performing any worse than Liam Delap by any means. 2 goals and 1 assist this season have showcased flashes of a potentially top striker, but without opportunities, he won't get to develop that further. All of Chelsea's players have been rated, but read on to see the final verdict on Enzo Maresca credit. Getty. Enzo Maresca 7. The former Chelsea manager's reign has now come to an end at Stamford Bridge, but not necessarily down to his ability to manage a team. Last season's successes were not continued into this one, with the delivery of the Club World Cup not buying him enough time to turn things around in his second season at Stamford Bridge after disagreements with the board. He handled numerous situations quite well, such as the fitness of Reece James, several suspensions, and competing near the top of the table with such a young team, missing 2 of their star players in Cole Palmer and Levi Colwill. Recommended stories. He made a few errors at times in terms of team selection and using substitutions, but it's unclear how much of that was within his power. Will leave Chelsea in fairly high regard, and is the favourite to replace Pep Guardiola at Manchester City next season.